Hello everyone, this is Maritime Academy YouTube channel, and in this video also we will continue to MARPOL Convention Annex I regulations. And in this video we will talk about regulations 24 and 25 of Annex I of MARPOL Convention. As I told you before in previous regulations 24, 25, 26 and 27 of this regulation, and also 23, they are all talking about damage stability calculations for the oil tankers. So in this regulation also, regulation 24 and also 25, which we will talk about these two regulations in this video, in both of them talking about the same issue. In regulation 24, which is about damage assumptions, it's telling that for the purpose of the calculation of the volume of this oil outflow, which we talked about it in previous regulation, for the calculation of the volume of this oil outflow, the three dimensions of the damages in side and bottom are assumed in this regulation. So in this regulation, MARPOL is giving us some assumptions for the extent of damages in case of side damage and bottom damage. For the line, it means that longitudinal extent of damage. For example, in case of, it's telling that longitudinal extent of damage in case of the side damage shall not be more than 14.5 meters. Transverse extent of the damage in case of the side damage shall not be more than 11 meters, and so on. Also same three dimensions in case of the bottom damage. So we have these assumptions in this regulation, which they are very important for the purpose of the calculation of the oil outflow of oil in next regulation, means regulation 25. In regulation 25, which is exactly talking about hypothetical oil outflow, we have two formula, which is calculating the hypothetical oil outflow in case of the side damage and in case of the bottom damage, which we are showing by OS, Oscar Sierra. It means that hypothetical oil outflow in case of the bottom damage, Oscar Sierra, and OC, Oscar Charlie, this formula also calculating the hypothetical oil outflow in case of the side damage. In case of bottom damage, OS, and in case of the side damage, OC. Exactly, remember. Here S does not mean side. Don't mix it. Anyway, when we go inside the text of the convention, I will show you exactly the parameters and the factors which we are talking about them as the assumptions in regulation 24, and also after that I will show you the formulas for calculation of the hypothetical oil outflow in regulation 25. I will show you the formulas. There is two more or less simple formula. I will show you that which figures and which parameters we should insert inside of these two formulas to get the volume of hypothetical oil outflow in cubic meter for the side damage and for the case of the bottom damage. So that is finished for here. Let's go inside the text of the convention, then I can explain, I think, more clear about these two regulations, which they are both of them talking about procedures for calculating the hypothetical oil outflow in case of the bottom damage and side damage. Let's go to text of the convention. Okay, let's come to text of the convention. This is Annex I, Regulation 24, Assumptions, Damage Assumptions. As I told you here in this part, Just have a look to this part. It is stating that for the purpose of calculating hypothetical oil outflow from oil tankers in accordance with regulations 25 and 26, 3 dimensions of extent of damage, this is the important thing, are assumed as follows. For the case of side damage and for the case of bottom damage. So, as you can see here, it is clearly mentioned that in this case of the side damage, longitudinal extent shall be 1/3 of L multiple 2/3 or 14.5 meter, whichever is less. I think no need to repeat again that the L here is the length of the ship defined by the convention in regulation 23. So this is not the length overall, this is not the length between perpendicular or anything else. So transverse extent shall be breadth divided by 5 or 11.5 meters, whichever one is less. So it is 11.5. Just a moment ago I told you 11 meter. Please correct me, sorry for that. 11.5 meter, B divided 5 or 11.5 meter, which one is less? Vertical extent is from the baseline upward without limits. Okay, and the symbols are very important in this regulation. You see, longitudinal extent we are telling LC. TC is transverse extent and the VC is vertical extent in the case of the side damage. Because the same you should insert inside the formula in the next regulation, that's why it's important. For the bottom damage also, same, you have the 3 dimensions, longitudinal extent, transverse extent, and also vertical. Longitudinal, it's telling that length divided by 10 or 5 meter, whichever is less. Transverse extent, B, breadth divided by 6, 10 meter, whichever is less, and in no case shall not be less than 5 meter. Vertical extent from the baseline divided by B, breadth divided by 15 or 6 meter, whichever is less. Longitudinal extent showing by LS, transverse extent showing by TS, and vertical extent showing by VS in case of the bottom damage. Here, as I told you, it is telling that the symbols are important. Just it wants to tell this. Regulation 25. It is, as I told you, it's talking about hypothetical outflow of oil. So, and here is given formula for calculating the outflow of oil in case of the side damage, which we are calling OC, and in case of the bottom damage, which we are calling OS. That's why, as you can guess, in this regulation, it is given 2 formula. For the side damage, OC means the volume of oil outflow in case of the damage, in case of the side damage, calculating by this formula. And OS means the outflow of oil in volume in case of the bottom damage, calculating by the OS, and it's coming from this formula. And whatever is inside the formula, it is mentioned here and easy to understand. Just have a look. W, it is the volume of a wing tank in cubic meter assumed to be reached by the damage as specified in regulation 24 of this annex. CI is the volume of a center tank in cubic meter assumed to be breached by the damage as specified in regulation 24. And KI, easy to calculate, 1 minus B divided by TC when BI is equal or greater than TC. KI shall be taken equal to 0. So, and also the same, you can see here, that it's talking about ZI by this formula, BI by this formula. This is the width of the wing tank in meter under consideration measured inboard from the ship's side at right angles to the center line at the level corresponding to assigned summer freeboard. And HI, minimum depth of the double bottom in meters under consideration. Where no double bottom is fitted, high shall be taken equal to 0. So the parameters I think are very clear parameters. Then going inside the formula, you will find the hypothetical oil outflow in case of the bottom and side damage. Then there is some details also we can see here. More or less, I think that is enough. Just remember, this regulation does not apply to oil tankers delivered on or after 1st January 2010 as defined in Regulation 128.8. So remember, this regulation not applying to the oil tankers for after 2010, or as per this part, it means that their killing date is on or after 1st July 2007. That vessels also will not be bound with this regulation. So this also was important part. Okay, I think that's enough for the text of the convention. Okay, I talk with you about something, finalizing this video and finish. Thank you. Okay, so we finished with the regulations 24 and 25 of Annex I of MARPOL Convention. Now we should be able to calculate the hypothetical outflow of oil. So that is finished for this video. In the next video we will talk about regulation 26, which in regulation 26 also in continuation of these regulations means regulation 23, 4 and 5. We will continue with damage stability calculations, and specifically we will talk about the limitations of size of cargo tanks. Okay, thank you again for watching me and following my videos, and good to see you again in near future.